Well, this sucks. More problems with the Golf. Not only was it the water leaking, but the exhaust manifold also started blowing. But not to worry, we figured the problems out and we can at least solve them. So I'm going to show you what was the problem with the water leak. Okay, so I noticed that this flange, you can actually see on camera, this flange is warped. And now the O-ring goes like this, and when it bolts onto the head, it was actually leaking from here and right over here, where the warp was the worst. So we managed to get a new one and done the same modification on this one as what we did with this one. So this thing comes, originally it comes with this fitting on just like this, right? And then the heater hose goes on here. But now the problem was, this was hitting on the turbo manifold, and there's no ways of getting that heater pipe on onto this fitting and without it touching on the hot manifold. So I cut this off, and I actually used a 1/2" NPT for you guys that want to do this modification. It's a real good modification and it solves a lot of problems. Anyways, so I used a 1/2" NPT and I cut threads in there, okay? And then what I done was I took a fitting like this. This is a tapered fitting. It's got a tapered thread, and I cut the other end off. As you can see, I cut that off, and then I welded it onto a metal pipe like this, and then I screwed it in and I used thread sealer. So now that fits up against the head like that. So now the water leak problem is solved. This is a brand new one and it is perfectly straight. Now the next problem we had was the exhaust manifold started blowing. So as you can see, it blew over there, and through there. This isn't too bad. I'm sure when it was blowing, we did tighten it up and it did make a difference. But at the end of that, it was still blowing. And I just want to emphasize the importance of using a new gasket every time. Look at this. This was an old gasket. We thought we could get away just by putting silicone on it, but all that work, putting everything together just to find out it's leaking. And why? Because we decided to go cheap and reuse the gasket. Bad idea. So now we've got the new gasket. So now that it looks like we've figured out the problems, the next thing to do to move forward is actually go and fit all the new parts and start it once again and see if all the leaks have been fixed, because this thing has been a real headache of note. I just want to get this thing done already, get it tuned. I'm very keen to see the numbers power wise, and then I can finally get out of the shop because it's been here way too long.